So benching Anthony Richardson has much more to do than just the way he was playing on the field. Now, didn't help his case. I think he would have been benched 2 or 3 weeks, 2 or more weeks down the line, if the whole debacle didn't come of him tapping out, saying, "Coach, I'm tired. I need to play off." That's pathetic. That's upsetting. When you have 53 other guys on this team, not including guys from the practice squad, not including other guys who are fighting tooth and nail, just, clawing their way and fighting hard every single day, no matter how tired they are, to try and get to the league, to make a team, to make a practice squad. And then you have the guys who are on the team, the other 52 guys on this football team, and you're tapping out because you're tired. You think any other of your teammates have ever done that? No, they have not. Um, it's really disrespectful and a big slap in the face to Shane Steichen, Chris Ballard, Jim Irsay, the rest of the football team, the entire franchise and the organization for the Indianapolis Colts. I would even say every player in the NFL that is disrespectful to. It's disrespectful to the rest of the league, and I think it's very disrespectful to the sport to go to your coach and say, "Hey, I'm tired. Give me the playoff, coach. Can I get the playoff?" I think that is very disrespectful in a lot of ways. I get it. You're tired. Fine. Everyone gets tired, but that's also the point. All these other guys who are even on the roster who are starters, you have 21 other guys who have starting roles, many more who have a solid rotational role. I mean, you have 10 other guys on that side of the football with you, and you think they're going to take themselves out of the game because they're tired, because they're too tired? No. That's not how this thing works. It's very disrespectful. I'm not a fan of Anthony Richardson going and doing that. And let me tell you one thing that I want to talk about. I kind of called this. I talked about Anthony Richardson not being a great locker room leader, a great locker room guy a couple months ago. And that is when he said, "I feel like this rubbed me the wrong way. And if this rubbed me the wrong way, imagine what it did to his teammates." Him coming to the NFL. And this past offseason, Anthony Richardson said something along the lines, I'm not quoting, I'm not saying that he exactly said it this way, but Anthony Richardson said something along the lines of, "The NFL is easier than the college level of football." I think that is very disrespectful in its right itself. And you may be saying, JDW, don't you think you're overreacting? Don't you think you're being a little bit harsh? No, absolutely not. Think about these other guys. It is a privilege to play this game. It is a privilege to play football. It is not a right. You are not guaranteed anything. And you have all these other guys who are fighting, and clawing, and they're, I'm not, I'm going to say Anthony Richardson, he gave up that play. He gave up. The pressure was too much for him. I think the pressure was too much. Yeah, he was tired. I'm not a fan the way Anthony Richardson carried himself that game. Like I said, I think it's very disrespectful to not only himself, but the players around him, the team around him, everyone trying to make a football roster, the rest of the NFL, and the sport in general. You cannot take yourself out of the game because you're tired. You are the leader of your teammates. You are the leader of 52 other men. You are, the face of the franchise. You're the future. That's what everyone was looking at. I haven't. To be honest, I didn't think Anthony Richardson was the guy. He's been the same as he was in college as he is in the NFL now. He's never changed. He's been the same old player. Yet people are making so many excuses for him. Yeah, the receivers are dropping footballs, this and that. Okay, fine. Fine, whatever. You want to make the excuses, fine. But they are not allowed. They're not allowed at this point, okay? Maybe the first couple of games, fine. And maybe it's understandable that receivers drop footballs, but that happens to every quarterback. That happens every game, every year. You're gonna, you could go ahead and look at the adjusted completion percentage and all this fancy stuff, but at the end of the day, Anthony Richardson has a below 50% completion percentage so far this year. He's been injured way more than he has played. There are no excuses to be made for him. He was a number 4 overall pick. When you pick a guy in the top 5, in the top 10, he better be almost ready to go with a lot of upside. Anthony Richardson was never even close to being ready to go. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to myself, to Anthony Richardson. Don't get me wrong. As a human being, I like Anthony Richardson. I think he has a lot of great traits to him, but I think he showed a lot of his true colors this past weekend, tapping out saying, "I'm tired, give me a break, coach." I find that disrespectful. And going back to the point I was talking about a little bit earlier, with him saying that the NFL is easier than college. I even said at the time that throws up red flags right there in certain cases. I think he's just saying that to say that. I don't think he really meant it, to be honest with you. I just don't understand that statement. I don't think there's any substance behind it. I don't know how you can say that when you are struggling beyond belief in the NFL. Like I said, I'm not trying to be disrespectful myself, and this may be coming off as disrespectful. I get it. But I'm wearing my heart on my sleeve right now. I am telling you how I feel. I am telling you the truth of this situation and the gravity of the matter. I am telling you what every player is thinking. Maybe not what they're thinking, but what is deep in their mind that is just going on like, man, this guy is our leader. This is supposed to be the the face of the franchise, the face of the city for football. And he's taking himself out one play because he is tired after a couple of big runs. Everyone gets tired. I'm not discrediting that. Yes, I believe he was tired. But weren't the 10 other guys on the same side of the football that you were playing with tired? Weren't they? You're not the only one tired, AR. You're not. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, he seems like an awesome human being, a great human being. But I don't think he understands the gravity of the situation. Now, maybe he does, okay? And he really was just tired and wanted a break. But doesn't that tell you even more if that's the case? I don't know. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm not trying to be, to not understand the situation that he's in. But I genuinely think that this is unacceptable. And I apologize if I was a little disrespectful in this video. I don't think I was. I was just kind of telling you the truth and the truth of the situation. Even though the teammates aren't going to say it. Even though no one's going to say it because this organization is full of class. They're not going to beat down. They're not going to talk badly about their leader. Which I don't even, in the back of their minds, they're thinking, man, this guy, he's taking himself out of place because he's tired. Deep in their minds, I'm sure they have some kind of a doubt in that perspective. Anthony Richardson gave Shane Steichen no choice. The moment those words came out of his mouth that he was tired and he needed a playoff, I immediately knew he was going to be benched and that was it. Because if Shane Steichen doesn't bench him after him saying that, after Anthony Richardson doing something like that, Shane Steichen not only, is risking the season going bad the rest of the year the way Anthony Richardson is playing. I think the talent is another story. But I think what he has done in this situation is way bigger than the talent level and how bad he was playing. Now, he was playing very bad, and I think in 2 or 3 weeks' time, he was going to be benched anyways. 2 of 15 in the first half, can't complete a pass, and this has been the case for the entire season. He has not been able to consistently complete passes. When he does complete the passes, the receivers have to make this carnival catch, this circus catch. They have to reach back. They can't keep running through the football. He's putting his players in situations to be hit. Look at Pittman. Many times, there's a throw in that game where AR threw a football and put Pittman in danger of being hit big. All of our players, all of them. So many times you overthrew Alec Pierce. The talent level is one thing, and the performance is one thing. But this put the nail in the coffin. I don't think Anthony Richardson is going to lace up the cleats again for the Indianapolis Colts. I don't think he's going to wear the horseshoe again. I don't think he should. I don't even know if he's going to take another snap in the NFL, unless Flacco gets hurt, maybe. But I don't think he takes another snap in the NFL at quarterback. Maybe another team picks him up and tries him in some wildcat crazy formations and something like that maybe, but even that, like I said, this is a little bigger than the performance aspect of things. I think it's very I'm not trying to put words into teammates' mouths. I'm not trying to put thoughts into their heads and tell you that they are thinking this, but I just have a feeling deep down that when you see a teammate like that, the leader of your football team, who's being paid millions and millions and millions of dollars, even just as a rookie. He's supposed to be the face of your franchise, the leader. When you see that guy tapping out, literally tapping out on his helmet saying he's tired, he needs to play up, I think they lose some respect for him. Maybe they don't necessarily lose respect. I think they do a little bit. I really do think they do. But that doubt in the mind has to be there. And I didn't finish my statement from earlier. What I was saying from earlier is that Shane Steichen was backed up into a corner. There's nothing else that he could have done. He had to bench Anthony Richardson. He's not only risking the rest of the season, but he's risking losing the locker room and the players after something like that. I don't think AR should have went back in the game. I think Shane Steichen should have just been like, all right, sit down on that bench, stay there. Bench in the middle of the game, stay there. But yeah, man, it's just the number 4 overall pick hasn't been there talent wise, hasn't been there anywhere near where he needs to be performance wise, and I get it. He was an experiment, and people are saying it themselves. It's a failed experiment. The Anthony Richardson experiment is over. There was never a point in time where you go, yes, Anthony Richardson is the future. He is the guy. There was never a point in time where you had that true thought in your head that Anthony Richardson is the future. 100% you never thought that. I don't think anyone has ever thought that. Whether they want to say it or not, or admit it or not, and people are saying it themselves. It was an experiment. And the experiment is over. As we had former NFL scout Daniel Kelly come on, he had Anthony Richardson listed as a 5th or 6th round pick. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not taking words out of his mouth because I'm not sure, but he had him ranked that low. Former NFL scout Daniel Kelly. Go check out his podcast. Great plays, great human being, awesome human being just to talk to. Great guy. And he does his work. Trust me, he does his work. He's been basically right about every player that I've talked to him about or that he has spoken about. He is hammer on the head or hammer on the nail. Yeah, that was kind of stupid what I said, but he's deadly accurate with his quarterback evaluations. East Coast Gridiron, Dante, that man over there, he knows his stuff as well. He is deadly accurate. He knows his stuff. Another guy, from the very beginning, wasn't a fan of Anthony Richardson. And, those two people right there are very smart. They know what they're looking at. And I'm still learning, right? But when I watch film on Anthony Richardson, this is coming from someone who's still learning, not great at watching film. I'm going to put that out there and be honest with you. I'm not going to sit here and try to pull wool over your eyes. I'm still learning. When I watched Anthony Richardson, at first, I got excited. I was pumped up. I'll be honest. But once I listened to them talk, once I heard what they had to say, you go back and you watch the film again. It's like, okay, you were excited about the arm. You were excited about his athletic ability. But you didn't really see anything else. He struggled to read the defenses. It felt like he didn't know what he was looking at times. It felt like the college level was too fast for him. His footwork wasn't there. His mechanics are raw. He has no accuracy. He had no accuracy in college. He is the same player he was in the NFL now that he was in college. Nothing has changed. Not a single thing. Okay? So, yeah. AR, I tried to keep an open-minded for as long as I could, but nail in the coffin, that's it. I don't care. And you may be harsh, but you know what? The NFL is a business, man. And like I said, Shane Steichen had no choice. He was backed up into the corner. Last thing, what does this mean for Chris Ballard? I've said many times that Anthony Richardson's career is linked to Chris Ballard's career. I think it's time to move on from Chris Ballard. I think it's officially time to move on from Chris. Look, he's done some great things. Don't get me wrong. He has done some phenomenal things with this football team. He is a trade guru. He is incredible when it is getting value out of players that you probably wouldn't get as much as Chris Ballard got from him anywhere else. Anyone else probably wouldn't have been able to get as much as he got out of Carson Wentz. Okay, and he turned it into a haul. Got a lot of really good players in the picture. I don't remember which ones, but I just saw a graphic the other day. Some of our starters, some of our better players we got from that. From those picks we got from the Carson Wentz trade with the Commanders. And then, Chris Ballard, it's just been, other than that, the team has been mediocre. You can't use the Andrew Luck excuse anymore. That is long gone. It's been 6, 7, 8 years, something in that ball range, in that ballpark. Maybe 6 or 7. But you can't use that excuse anymore. It sucked. Andrew Luck was still playing. Not just saying this because I'm a Colts fan, but we may have a ring. We may have our 3rd Super Bowl ring. But at the end of the day, what's the reality? The reality is that we don't. The reality is that Chris Ballard has failed. He has failed to take this team from mediocre to great, as Frank Reich and Chris Ballard both have said in the past. Taking that leap from good. It may be easier. It's difficult to be good, but taking that leap from good to great is the most difficult leap. And Chris Ballard has not been able to do that. I don't think he's been aggressive enough in free agency at certain times. You didn't trade for L'Jarius Sneed. Look at our cornerback room. Our cornerback room right now looks okay. But you could have had one of the best cornerbacks in the league, if not the best. And I believe if you're looking at L'Jarius Sneed on one side and Jalen Jones on the other and Kenny Moore in the slot, I think you're looking at a pretty damn good cornerback room. All of a sudden, without Dallas Flowers, you have Jalen Jones at number 1. Womack has looked good. But just think of the secondary with L'Jarius Sneed. It would be legit. Now, it's just hoping and praying. But the secondary would be legit with L'Jarius Sneed. It would. Very much would be. There were many times where Chris Ballard just wasn't aggressive enough. Trey Hendrickson is an example. He was a free agent a couple years ago. Now he's one of the best edge rushers in the league for Cincinnati at the moment. There are so many times, so many opportunities Chris Ballard has had to improve, really the cornerback room, really anywhere. Feels like he leaves positions go until the last second, and then he tries to band-aid them until he finds the next answer. Left tackle was a perfect example. Once in a blue moon, that's okay. But he has done that with the cornerback room every single year. I think Chris Ballard is... I don't think he's as bad as Jerry Jones. But Chris Ballard is a guy, he wants to take care of his homegrown talent of the guys that he finds, but I think he goes a little far with it. He trusts his guys too much. Give his guys time. I get it. It takes time to learn the game. It takes time to take that next step and and to even learn the game of football. And then the second hand to practice it and perfect your craft is another thing. The NFL is not made for everyone. It's not. Not forever league. I think that's what people call it. It's very difficult. But Chris Ballard has to go and, sometimes you have to, swallow your pride and be like, okay, my guy didn't work out. I have to move on. or time to trade for someone big. And he has said that he doesn't want to go and it's not that he doesn't want to, but he wants to take care of his talent, play his guys big money before other guys. Fine, but something has to change in the front office as well. Will it change this offseason? I honestly don't know. I think he should be fired. I think there's a 60 to 70% chance that Chris Ballard is fired this offseason. If we make the playoffs, probably won't be fired. Will we make the playoffs? I think if we don't make the playoffs, he has to be fired. Don't get me wrong, the defensive line, he's figured out the defensive line. I mean, they've been inconsistent. Stopping the run has been an issue. We've gotten better the last couple weeks. We really, versus the Titans, it was not great. I mean, there are just too many issues going on right now. I feel like this team is a couple of steps away from being a very good football team. There's just so much to unpack. You don't know where to start with Chris Ballard. You don't know where to start with this team. But yeah, Anthony Richardson, he put the nail in the coffin, man. Very disrespectful to your teammates. Very disrespectful to, the sport, in my opinion, what he did. If a high school player goes to his coach and says, "Coach, I'm too tired. I need a couple plays off, or I need to play off." Probably gonna bench you. You're probably not gonna play the rest of the game. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for tuning in. Well, no, high school may be a little different. Young kids learning, but still, that mindset is not desirable. Everyone else is tired too, not just you. And when the leader does it, it's under a scope. It really is. It's just a matter of the fact. It's just a matter of the situation. No matter how you want to look at it, the quarterback is one of the most important positions in football. You don't have a good quarterback, the truth is you're really not going anywhere. It's just the truth of today's game, especially in the AFC. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for tuning in to the JDW Sports Talk Show, where every fan's welcome. I said that I was supposed to be taking a break this week. I am still re-strategizing, but I felt like this video was necessary. It was big enough. It's big enough for me to, go back against that and make a video and get this out. I need to get my feelings out. Colts Nation, you guys need to hear my feeling. You guys had to hear what I thought on this. So, you guys let me know what you think about this situation. Was I too harsh? Was I disrespectful in the way I handled it and talked about it? I'm curious to hear what you guys think about it. But that's it for me. Thank you for tuning in to the JW Sports. Thank you for tuning in to the JW Sports Talk Show. Everyone's welcome. Getting back to re-strategizing. We'll be back next week. We're going to be back for the Sunday Night Football game reactions. Yes, it is actually Sunday Night Football. I was about to just say Sunday Football, but yes, it's versus the Minnesota Vikings. And I think we may have a shot, guys. Believe it or not, I think we have a chance to win this football game. The Vikings, are they on a downside? Joe Flacco starting, a guy that knows what he's looking at. We have good weapons, a wide receiver. We have decent weapons, and that's one way you can beat the Vikings defense. You have to have talent at receiver because their quarterback room is not great. Okay, we have a good quarterback that can get after them, but we'll see. We'll see what we can do. Joe Flacco has seen it all, so Brian Flores is not going to be able to fool Joe Flacco. So I actually think the Colts have a chance to win this game. I'm not going to give you my prediction yet, but I think you guys are going to be shocked. So thank you guys for tuning in. It's JW Sports Talk Show. Signing off. I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you.